How are you doing? Better? Microphone or without problem. How to everybody knows what the hell. Don't hear me. Hello, hello, hello. No changes. Ah, it works, yeah. I mean, this is completely insane. I mean, for no reason it works or not. Hello. Hello, people. Han Baris. It's acting like, you know, like a woman. What is this? You never know. Why and what? What the hell is this? I know that you are not a woman. Who said that you are a woman? I said about this microphone. I am Dudum. We all understand that you are not traditional orientation. Please keep these ideas with you. Okay, so today I decided to go back in time for Botvinnik, and I want to share with you games from his first book, when as a period from 1923 till 1941. He was born in 1911, so from beginning of his career. And I choose this game because it's very interesting in middle game and end game. So let's enjoy together Mikhail Botvinnik games. And it was played in Novgorod 1929. And first time in his life he was playing in uniform because he was in camping for preparation of soldiers preparation. So he was 18 years old. And let's see what happened here. So, good evening. So d4 was played by Botvinnik. d5 by Sozin. Sozin, we know, was also very famous and known player. Hello again. Hello, Automeister. Or Automister, maybe. c4, c6, knight f3, knight f6, and he played e3, and he says that in that time, when he was young, he was avoiding knight c3. This is his complex line, main line, and also exchange variation of Slav. So he chose e3, which is nowadays also very popular. Call you kingy, okay. e6, bishop a5, known like a most main line here. Knight c3, then e6, knight h4, and here's a lot of ideas like bishop g6, bishop e4, bishop g4. I also invented this g6 novelty, and so on. But his opponent Sozin played e6 in this position. Bishop goes to d3, knight goes to d7, castle. And we remember one of game. One second, who was that game? Let me remember. It was bishop d6 and knight bd2 here. And then, if you remember, there was e4 and takes the control in the center. Who was that game? Who was that game? Why I don't remember now. In one of the streams we see it. It was Max Ave. Max Ave game, yes. I think it was Max Ave game. It was something like without castle, he played this, I guess. And after bishop d6, he played e4, his opponent took, and after take, it was check, bishop d2, queen d2, it was, I guess, castle, knight f6, bishop c2, and queen c7, his opponent played without d8, and then I give you this, yeah, Levan, Madloba, Sahul. And here I give you, in that game, I give you time to think here for original plan of Ave, I remember that. And normal lines will be rook d1 or rook fd1, but he played queen d3 and provoked this weakness after knight g5. And then he played queen f3, rook d1 and then won. Иванов, успокойтесь. So e6, bishop d3, knight d7, castle he played, and Sozin played bishop e7 here. He says that he was avoiding a knight c3 and Meran system after dc because Sozin was like Sozin knew it very well. Then bishop d6 and castle e5 he was like to play. Also b5 is main line. That's why he played castle here, avoiding a develop. Nike, yeah. So that was cool games. Thank everybody, people who support us, and also Kata. That was cool. Yeah, very fun games. So bishop e7 by Sozin and knight c3. So Botvinnik successfully avoided Meran, castle, and he plays e4 here. D, we have to take this pawn, otherwise it will push e5 and take more space and also kick away this knight. D is like automatic move, knight e4 and b6. So black wants to finish development and then play c5 some moment, open this diagonal and hit this pawn. Hello, Wook. What's up, people? Welcome. So what happened after b6? This is like improved variation of Bogolubov. And in this current game, he found a good method to fight against it, he said. He played bishop f4, develop a piece, also control this diagonal, not allow this queen c7 move. Bishop b7. And what do you think, what Botvinnik played here? What kind of positional idea he found over the board? I have a few favorite players, not only one. Yeah, I don't know. I just changed, you know, this USB port of this microphone. I just changed it to another one and just started work. I mean, just incredible. Gladiator Chess 08. Thank you for follow. Of course, Ruchess 27. Yeah. Yeah, Alokhin, Lasker, and Schlechter. Yeah, Botvinnik you forget, of course. So I cannot say only one. Иванов, ну перестаньте вот это как девчонка обижаться. Что я не ответил? Вы задаете какие-то совершенно дебильные вопросы. Причем уже 150 раз, 1000 раз вам ответили, что этот батл был между сабскрайберами, а не между мной и Гатом. Но вы продолжаете, это один и те же вопросы. То у него в чате, то у меня в чате. Что тут удивляться, что потом игнор просто идет. Я же не буду вас банить. Вы выбираете, ли я вас баню, или же игнорирую, когда мне надоедают эти дебильные вопросы. То немножко контролируйте себя. Немножко задалбывает эти одни и те же вопросы, если честно. Okay. So what's going on here? What do you think? What was Botvinnik's idea? So we see that his opponent wants to play c5. Open diagonal, also this pawn. So what? c5, it's a move, yeah, but... And then what? What if I just take bc? What you want? Just give me pawn? Bishop h6. Not this time. Fat mate. Okay, so c5 he wants. So knight c3. A good move here. And the idea is that after c5 here, his opponent played h6, because after c5 he wanted to play d5. This was his idea. And now d6 is a threat. And if you take everything here, It would be quite unpleasant position for black. We take, and then this little trick here. Check, and queen d5. Yeah, it looks unlogical that we change the central pawn for this h7 pawn, but the point that we spoil king side. Also, we have some threats, and we quickly develop this rook and put pressure over d5. So that would be practically very unpleasant for black, but maybe still he should go for that. Maybe play king g8 here, or maybe knight f6, first checks, and king g8, rook d1, queen c8. He'll probably go rook e1. Still a little bit unpleasant, definitely. Okay. Diamantori, hello. But Sozin avoiding with h6. Now he preparing c5 because that sacrifice will be without capture on h7. But after that, he played bishop c2 because now c5, d5, queen support this pawn. Also queen d3 now idea, and just develop rooks. Yeah. Rook goes to e8 by Sozin. I guess he wants to play bishop f8 or knight f8 and control this square after battery. Bishop h8 and think later. He did not take again. But he played queen d2, maybe with such an idea. First he wants to develop and then always have this idea in mind. Knight f8, Sozin for any case bring this knight here, and also he opened queen. Now c5 is a threat here, because d5 we just take it. We have 3 attacks versus 2 defense. Rook d1, of course, as third defense. Again doesn't work. So let me see what after bishop h6 here. Let me think. Takes. Maybe it was possible. Probably knight goes to h7 here. Without the bishop g5. Still, maybe it's very good compensation. We go, I don't know, rook e1, let's say. Bishop f6, I will play rook e4, rook g4. If bishop g5, I will play queen h5. Queen f6, queen knight e4. So it's not so easy for black. Yeah, Levente, maybe you're right. This also was interesting. After c5, I can play even d5 here. Close this diagonal. What else black can play instead of this? I don't see better moves than knight h7 here. For example, if you play c5, maybe queen g5 is decided here. Forcing king h8, the knight e5, and impossible to defend this mate here. Looks like knight h7 is the only move, simply. I like rook e1, because this another rook I will put on d1 later. On this I will play rook e4. So king h8 would be the option. Anyway, rook g4, not allow bishop g7. Looks so scary. This looks so super scary. Yeah, this looks scary, yeah? Knight e5 if is coming. For example, d4, I play knight e5, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, could be considerable. Definitely, but he continues his way. He played rook d1 first, avoiding c5 move again. Sozin played bishop d6, and he's kind of like provocating this. And now he played knight e5 in this position. Okay, I will make you happy, Levente. After knight e5 and next move of Sozin, he finally crashed on h6 here. So he played knight e5. He's preparing bishop h6 move for better moment. And now queen e7 he played, and he says black was very glad with his position, because he next move he'll play rook d8 then c5. But of course bishop h6 he played now. Finally, it's like Sozin asked him to do it. Even Botvinnik was tempted. He says that this move, this sacrifice is more like positional, because he was unable to calculate everything. So he will have 2 pawns for peace and then attack. And also idea to bring this rook faster here. So he has to accept this, queen h6, rook d3, rook g3 is a threat. That's why Sozin eliminates this knight, because this knight is super strong in the center. So he eliminates this knight, de, and he played knight g6 here. Yeah, because he need to kick away this knight from active position. Because knight h7 would be knight e4, very unpleasant move here. Not allow queen g5, and also threat is knight f6, ef, and then mate on g7. And probably he would force to play knight g6, and I think we can play something like rook d7 here. We cannot take because check and then mate on g7. If queen e8, we can even exchange a sword. I cannot make move. We can even exchange and take this bishop with winning endgame. Ah, maybe it's not winning. It's yeah, it's just pawn up. He will take on e5, but it will be pawn up and just winning. Instead, he played knight g4. What happened after knight g4 here? He goes queen f4, defend and attack. And f5 is forced. Nothing better for black because queen h4 will play h3 and this is pin. So he needs to defend it. And he take ef. And Passan, yeah. He could now restore the material balance with h3 move. But after knight g6, queen goes g3, knight e5, f4, queen g7. This, he wanted something more than this for white. That's why he played after f5, ef, forcing knight f6 here, and bring rook in the action. He wants to bring rook with mating ideas here. Sozin did not find anything better in this position than play e5. And he played on h6. Again, the very big threat. Rook g3, queen g7 we cannot play because of rook g3. This move we also cannot play. This hangs, also check, and bishop h7. Black position looks critical. He played knight 6 to h7. He said after knight 8 h7 it would be almost like same position like in the game. Yeah, best move to resign. Yeah. So he played knight h7, rook g3 check, king goes to h8. So black more or less consolidated, but knight e4 now. And rook d8, he wants to bring another last piece in defense. And now he played knight g5. It still will keep winning chances, but he said probably best move would be here f4. So, and black has to take it, otherwise f5, f6 coming, or f3, rook f7, rook f8, I don't know everything. So after ef, he played rook f4. Bishop controls this square, knight controls this square. And the threats are rook f g4, then rook g7, rook g8. And also a knight f6 in the end. It's coming. Yeah, and he says that when he played this move, it was number 25th when he played, and he missed, he overlooked number 30 of black's reply. So he calculated 5 moves, but missed black's reply. So rook d7 only move. Otherwise we just take twice, and then after queen h7 will be check on f6 and mate on g7. So he protects 7th rank. And now he played knight h7, and it's inaccuracy, big inaccuracy. And he says that many years later, young Kasparov found a winning continuation here by white. Okay, I will let you think a little bit. What do you think? What do you think? What was the line what Kasparov suggested as a winning? And try to calculate till the end, not only one move, of course. Even a3, yeah? A deep prophylaxis against queen b4. Try to figure out what's going on here. Come on, Danand, you have some connections with Anand. Make it. Yeah, but knight h7, that's what Botvinnik played. So I said that it's inaccuracy, so Mike D. Don't repeat the same. That was what Botvinnik calculated when he played knight g5 and he missed 30 moves. Knight f7, I'll just take queen f7. Diamantori, you're Russian, yes? Only the name conditions. C5 likes Levente. I don't understand anymore. You are serious? You are not serious, God knows. It's not C5, I would say. But interesting option. You want to play bishop b3, as understood. Maybe bishop a6 he will play. And bring bishop to c4, I don't know. We met in Kosovo actually on this smoke break. Really? Wow. So you've been playing in Kosovo or you are from Kosovo? That's the point now. Your point is that anything is winning, yeah. But in such positions, if you relaxed, you know, we often know it from our own games that when you relax such positions, you can easily slip away everything. Some classic set, I don't exactly remember who, but maybe it was Lasker or Stein said it's the hardest thing to win winning positions. So rook h3, this was the point. This is a strong move here. So and threat is to 1 second, guys. Yeah, so threat is, we see that take everything on h7 and then we give check and win the queen. So if queen g7, we play queen h5 and we're attacking rook. And there is no defense because rook e7, we just take again everything on h7. And after you take queen h7, I play queen f5. Not queen g5 because of queen h3 and then rook g3, but queen f5 and control this rook and game is over. And the best continuation for black would be probably e4. And after bishop e4, queen g7, queen h5, he should give this rook. But obviously he would not survive a long time here, in this position. Instead, Botvinnik, when he played knight g5, he calculated this knight h7 line. And he saw that after bishop, knight h7, bishop h7, queen h7, and a check on f6, rook g7 and rook d1, he's winning here. And not rook h3, of course, because of queen h3, yeah, it's pin. And he says that he saw that rook d7 is coming and the game will be over soon. But he overlooked rook dg8 move here, simply. And the point that rook cannot penetrate. And also this is made here. And all suddenly, things are not so easy. Yeah, rook h3 again, not possible, as we see, because of queen h3. Oh, 1 second, sorry. What he missed? Queen h7, queen h6, rook h7, rook d1. Ah, no, not this move, sorry, not this move. Bishop c8 he overlooked, yeah? No, this is number 29, this, yeah, h4 and this move, yeah. Exactly. This position he forget about rook g8 move here. And now all suddenly black is threatening queen f5. All suddenly in this position. He probably thought that he will just push this pawn to h5, h6 and just win the rook. And the thing what he calculated was maybe king g8 and he probably want to play rook d8 here. Yeah, this is winning, yeah? Because rook attacked and after he takes we give check and then we can even take and take here. Yeah, this was probably calculated. And forget about this move. And queen f5 is a threat. That's why. Why not rook g7? In which moment? Here, in this position. Rook g7. Or where? You will just take with queen. And then what you want? What if I take queen g7? drawn? No, white is playing for win, of course, not for draw. So h4, he thought that he's winning, but after rook g8, he is forced to play queen e5 now. And Sozin played queen e5 because after queen h4, there was rook d4 move, attacking the queen here. And queen h6, because queen h7 is losing in this position after rook g7. And we cannot take with queen because of mate, and if we take with rook, there will be mate here there. So, and queen h6 would be the option, but rook d6 here. And black queen doesn't have a good square to go in this position. Again, queen h7 loses after rook g7. Queen h4 maybe would be a best option, more or less, but let me understand what Botvinnik wanted after this move. Maybe rook g6, I guess. Attacking queen h7 and then rook g5 maybe. And then we take it, rook h5, win the queen, or play immediately rook h5. And that's why he played queen f5. And now we will reach to an interesting endgame. And the black has to fight for a draw because they have bishop against these three passers here, very strong one. So he take on f5, he exchanges the rooks, rook takes g7 and f3, of course, strong move, neutralize these ideas, and king wants to bring king here and push these pawns. So if black not be careful, they will be lost very quickly. So he played. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they missed million wins. Okay, let me check. Let me check. I'll never check it with engines, of course. In which position we have to check? For example, after rook g8. Let's see what he missed. 0-0. He's missed nothing. Ah, it's white to move, what I'm talking about. Yeah, should be winning. With computer it's always easy. Ah, no, maybe not. Computer does not say anything, 0-0. So what after rook d6 here? Why rook d6? Ah, queen b1 and queen f5. What if directly queen f5? Also possible. So actually not so much blunders. Maybe h4 was bad. h3 computer said, then b3. Okay, this is not convincing at all. Rook d1, okay, he played first line. Here first line. Bishop f5 in this position. What is bishop f5? Let's see if computer was correct. Not computer, Kasparov with rook h3 move here. Bishop f5 and then rook h3. So what if direct rook h3? e4, yeah, maybe that's why bishop f5 is stronger, because then e4 will not work. So first we hit this rook, forcing here, and then rook h7, and with the same ideas. Yeah, this winning now. Okay, what to do? He blundered and was probably disappointed with his play. What he played here? He take. Bishop c8 in this position. h4. Yeah, and now we will get an interesting endgame. Take, f3. And bishop e6 he played. b3 obviously, protect this pawn. And after b3, he played king g8, and he says that it was a wise decision not to go for this exchange here. Because he would play g4 here, not allow the bishop f5, I guess. And at bishop e8, we have this f4, f5. And then this is really dangerous. Because these pawns also on the board. Theoretically, in the future, maybe king even can go penetrate to the queen side. That's why Sozin played king g8 here, waiting for white. Dark Knight. Thank you, man. We have another cool grandmaster here, Levente, GM Tranquilizer, so follow him. And you will change your mind. You will see a lot of fat mates. So, what's going on here? Rook goes to d6, attacking bishop, attacking the pawn. Bishop goes to d7, yeah? He need to protect, rook protects the bishop. g4, he played. King f8. I assume bishop g4 was bad, yeah? We just take, then king f2, then we take this pawn, and yeah, king is too far. But 1 second, what if check here? So 1 second, what I'm missing? This. Why he... Maybe king g3 first is a tricky move here. King g3, yeah, because we cannot go rook h7 here, yes? Because we don't take here, but we give check and then exchange. We just exchange and then we go faster to d6 and win. But what can black play here? Probably they are in a critical situation already. Something like rook h1, I will play rook 6 and also this check and this is threat. Yeah, this should be winning with such a passive king on g8. So, for obvious reason, Sozin did not take. But the question why Botvinnik allowed it, he played simply king f2. Maybe it was like trap. Please take it, something. Take this pawn if you want. King goes to f8, king goes to f2, king e7, rook goes to d2. And he said this was the most unlucky retreat of rook. Hello, Vega Slim. Because he just blundered bishop g4 here. Fg and then rook g4. Yeah. Now he just blundered. So this pawn it would be just draw. Crazy. But okay, we will not fix on these mistakes much attention. Imagine that he would play rook d1, yeah? And then he had rook h1. Then a5, he Sozin also did not see it, he was hypnotized. King goes to g3, bishop e8, king goes to f4, rook check, king backs, king goes to f6, rook e2, attacking bishop. And now Sozin should avoid the exchange of rook e7, and play bishop d7. But it's still, his task would be quite difficult to hold this position. Yeah, we would play an h5, king h4, somehow push these pawns forward, rook e3 slowly. But it was more chances than in the game. In the game, he played rook e7. First, he avoided a few moves before. He avoided exchange. Now he all suddenly unlogically exchanged his rooks. It was not a good decision. So definitely Botvinnik not avoids. King e7 and h5. In some positions, 3 pawns are equals a rook. There is a lot of theoretical positions when it's draw with 3 passing pawns when they are on this file. h6, g5, f4 versus rook and king. So imagine how strong they are against bishops then. King goes to f6, king f4. He wants to slowly push pawns. And b5 by Sozin. Yeah, so naturally black is trying to exchange more pawns as possible here. He take cb. Maybe he didn't want to play c5, not to give these chances like b4 and then bishop f7, a4 maybe. So he wins tempo, cb, and push this pawn on g5 we check. King g7, because king e6 also not helps black. Duo of king g4, and when you want to put the, if this pawn will get here, the game will be over very quick. So bishop d7, then f4, king d5 check, and now not f5 because of this, but king h4 move here. And after king e4, then h6, bishop f5, and then king h5, and this promotes. This is his analysis. I will not check on computer, I don't care. So g5, king g7, he gives check on h6, king goes to g6, king goes to e5. So black managed a maximum what they could, blocked these 2 pawns, but white has another one. Bishop f7, nothing black can do here. f4 and bishop g8 on time, otherwise check. And after we take this pawn, h7. So he need to control this square. And king goes to d6. He played a4, ba, ba, and a3, of course. So black with these exchanges, they secure not to lose these queenside pawns and lose the game. But unfortunately for them, white's position is so strong on kings that they decide game on this side now. And now he should play king f5 in this position. And instead he played bishop h7. And how white could win here a quick way? What do you think, guys? Thank you for follow, by the way. So he played king e7, inaccuracy. King e6, jigsaw does, bravo. This move, guys, yeah. Yes, Levente. The point that king cannot move, duo of king f6, and then f5, g6 we win easily. So after bishop g8, then king e7 and zugzwang here. Yeah, here's a zugzwang now. Because if bishop moves, then we give this check and win instantly. Because we cannot take promotes. If he goes here, we can play, I guess, f6 here. And after king g6, we can play f7. And he takes, we play h7. And simply finish the game here. But he played king e7 instead. And after king e7, what happened here, guys? He played bishop g8 now. And there is no zugzwang now. And now he go back to get the same position what he had before. Because king f8 now, he'll play bishop f5. And we cannot make progress. So king d6, his hope was that bishop will go back and then he play king e6. But Sozin played king f5. He goes here and here. And what do you think what white has to do here? Botvinnik was unable to win this game, imagine. He was 18 years old and in army in that moment. He was out of best shape, let's say like that. Yes, Penguin, you're right. So he played king e8 here. And he was going to one line by force. But he completely forget about one thing. So, in real, king d7 would be very strong move here. Polo Crew. Hello, man. I am 36. 25. Yeah, look, very close. Only 12 years difference. Yeah, I will become 20. I almost 20. I'm almost 37 already. So king d7 was a good decision because we know that we need to give a move here for black. If black to move, they simply lost because of Zugzwang. Come on, Polo. Thank you, but yeah, that's such a compliment you have to give to ladies, not to me, guys. So king d7 and king f5, because in case of bishop h7, we know that king e6 is already winning, and he cannot go to, let's say, I don't know. And in case of, 1 second, king f, yeah, after king f5, yeah, we play king e8 and king e7, and if he goes, yeah, and if black goes king f7, we just play f5, and after bishop h7, we just win this bishop, and black is too far. We play here, and then unfortunately for black, they are tempo down here. Play king b5, king e7. If black to move, they will get reach this square and draw. But now king 6, king d8, and we kick away with shoulder. Don't allow these important squares and just promotes. Yeah, that Wook that. Yeah, I don't know what to say. So that was the point. But instead he go king e8. And what he missed? He missed that after bishop e6, king f8, bishop f5, and king e7. Bishop goes to c2. King has to control these important squares. King d6. And after bishop d3, king goes to e6. And check on c4 here. And only now he realized that after king e5, Sozin will play bishop d3, and he just miscalculated that this is just draw, because black takes, play king g7, king e5, king g6, and you can easily find out that king will get exactly c8 square when white king on b6. And so they played a few more moves and agreed to draw. Crazy. How many times Botvinnik did not win this game? With whom I should play the Polo crew? Maybe when I was kid, I don't remember. Priest in the action. This is quite a famous game. I like this game. Let's see it. Against Khan. It was played in Leningrad, 1930. 1 second. Let me put it. So, 30. I don't know, maybe actually like this. Good night, Levente, thank you. Yeah, that was a fun. Ice hockey is number 1 for me. I don't know if I wrote gun correctly. Let me 1 second. Let's give respect to players. Let me Google how to write it. Ilya Khan. Yeah, it's actually through K. Only mistake what I made was that his first letter is K. Okay. D4. Knight goes to F6. C4. E goes to E6. Knight C3. Bishop B4. This is a Nemtsovich system. And Queen B3 he played. This is not the main line, of course. Yeah, he says that in that period he was playing often this Queen B3. Thank you for follow. C5 by Khan, supporting the bishop. D C5 and bishop takes to C5. Usually in such positions when knight is not on F3, for example, if he would play knight F3, there is a line, castle, and after Queen B3, C5, D C5, knight A6, A3, we can take a knight C5, and this knight has this square here after B4. This is the theory. But in this position, if we go C5, D5, knight A6 is not so good move, because now we play A3, and this is could be unpleasant after knight C5, F3 move here. Or yeah, this move F3 is quite unpleasant, and B4, E4 here, and so on, as I remember. Yeah, but he played bishop C5. Knight goes to F3. Knight C6. And he says that maybe better was preferable to play castle and then B6 and bishop B7. This was more preferable here. Instead he played knight C6, bishop G5, pinning the queen. And he played B6 here. Thank you for all people. And again, this was a wrong decision, he said. And white will capture an initiative. And he said that risky line would be knight A5, because after queen C2, knight C4, there is E4 with tempo. Also E5 is coming here. And he said maybe black should exchange the queens after queen B6 here. But he says that following practice shows that after the exchange on B6 and exchange this bishop on F6, white's position is preferable in this endgame. Okay, so B6 was played, E4 with idea E5 and also develop pieces. Knight D4 was played. He says that if black will wait with this jump and play bishop B7, there will be very unpleasant move long castle, control the square. Also E5 is the idea again. And now bishop E7 would be the option here. Because bishop F2 is risky after E5, H6, then we play EF, HG, we take on G7 with tempo, rook G8, and also the knight E4, very unpleasant move here. Attacking bishop, bishop E3 cannot check because of here, fork is coming, and if bishop C5, we just take it, and also take this bishop. Hello! But in this position, Khan played knight d4. He's undeveloped and playing too much with same pieces. Take on d4, bishop at d4, and now he played f3 because there was threat. For example, if rook d1 and then bishop f2 check and check on g4, and we take this bishop here. Hello, Mekon. Yeah, I mean, on YouTube it will be saved, so same. No problem. So, what happened here? f3 he played, avoiding this, also support this pawn. Some knight b5 ideas coming, long castle, rook d1, lot of ideas. And now he played h6 because white cannot play bishop h4 because of bishop c3 here. And unfortunately bc is forcing, and then this pawn structure is spoiled. We will play d6, e5 and so on. Because queen c3 here, there is a knight e4 attacking the queen. If we take, then check on h4, g3 and queen f6 and protecting. This was a tactical idea. That's why he goes to f4, but now no more pin. e5 he played in this position. And after e5, Botvinnik played knight b5. This was his point. And now he played knight h5. Because after bishop b2, he would play queen b2. And after ef, then queen h3, not allows this castle, and also knight d6 is coming. Which is that black is in real trouble, yeah? We cannot play queen e7 because then fork and exchange the queens and take this rook. Yeah. That's why he decided to play knight h5. And now he played bishop e3. And after bishop e3, he should calculate that after bishop, after queen h4 check, g3, and knight g3 in this position. The hound of. Hello, you are welcome. And after ag, queen h1 in this position, and bishop d4 ed, there would be two continuations here. First would be knight c7 check, king goes to d8 and take this rook. But then bishop b7 catching, forcing knight b6 ab, queen b6 check, and after king c8, king f2. This was one option. Not today, musician, definitely. And another option would be after ed, knight d6 in this position. That would be another. Thank you for sub, the hound of. Appreciate, man. Just came and wow, three months. Thank you, man. Appreciate a lot. So knight d6 check. We see this line. Yeah, AB games, I guess it's mixed up with a huge stream with this music, puzzles. That's why I didn't publish it. I don't have still this program where I can cut, you know, or divide things. Maybe later I will do it. Okay, so what's going on here? You can still, I think, see these videos on my channel, no? On Twitch channel. And after king f8, then would be option c5, or suddenly attacking this weak square. And then forcing queen h5 to protect it. and then g4, forcing only move queen g6 here. Then queen d5, attacking the rook. Rook goes to b8. And then cb, ab, and rook c1. And with a really strong pressure here, initiative by white. Of course, during the game, black did not risk to play it. And instead, he exchanged on e3, queen, sorry, not knight d6 check. This was very important intermediate idea here. Make it bishop, not queen e3, because he just castles and its own little advantage. But this was the idea. King goes to f8, otherwise check on f5. And after king f8, not queen e3 here, but a c5 strong move. Look at this. Yeah, with two intermediate moves. And white improves their position even more, is it? Because, for example, after queen h3, he would have queen h4 at this moment. And now g3 not works, because we take knight g3, and after queen f2, it looks like we win piece, but in real queen f6 it works. This knight attacked, this rook is attacked. Yeah, and he would forced to play queen f2, and after queen f2, king f2, at least black had some little chances to survive here in this endgame. But c5, attacking this pawn. And he played queen e7 in this position. Да, много добра. And queen e3. This is how he completely freezed this queen side here. Ara Sheikh, thank you. Hello, man. I'm okay, how are you? Thank you for... Wow. Chess Doho Live, thank you for raid, man. You're generous, as always. Lali, hello. Welcome, people. So, that was the point. And after queen e3, thank you for follows. Now queen h4, of course, gives nothing, because the same variation after g3, knight g3, queen f2, this knight is protected with pawn, so queen f6 just nothing. We just eliminate this knight here. Thank you, Chesdog. Appreciate it, man. Welcome, viewers. I hope you will enjoy with me these Botvinnik games. So, knight h4. What else to do for Khan here? You need to activate this knight at least. He wants to bring it here and attack this pawn. And in this position, Botvinnik played a very interesting move. What do you think? What Botvinnik played? I just want to you think a little bit. Ah, it's David Bruce. Oh, cool. Hello, David, once again. I think I saw a few of your streams before. And I think few people use this account, or not? Or maybe I'm mixed it up with another channel. Tata Super, what's up, man? Tata Steel. Lonkas is interesting option, but David, Kostya, and Jesse. Thank you for follow. And who is Kostya and who is Jesse? Would be nice to know. Jesse's joint account, okay? Opferschach. What's up? Трудно для mnie. Нема проблем. GM Jesse Rai and I am Kostya Avutsky. Oh, Kostya Avutsky I saw, yeah. I was in his stream, I think. Okay, thank you, people. Here, all suddenly, Botvinnik played very interesting move. He played queen a3. Look at his vision of board. He pinning this rook and he wants to take cb, and also knight is protected. Very original move here. Now knight e6, we just play cb, rook b8. Not possible to play queen e7, so forcing bc here. And after bc, he just took on c5. Queen c5. Again, bishop cannot move, yeah? Bishop e7, we just take and protect this queen. King g8 was played by Khan. And this probably only defense. Only defense against rook c1. He wants to play king g8, king h7, and just protect it with another rook here. What else to play? So king g8. Such an artificial way to make castle. And after that, g3 was played, yeah, because he uses that knight cannot go to here because we just take this pawn. So knight g6, and bishop goes to c4, attacking this pawn. King goes to h7. He now said that when you have a lot of good choices, it's not easy to choose one. So he played now he continued a most safe way to convert this game. He played long castle, develop rook, support knight, and then had king on queen side. For example, he said in case of bishop f7, it would be possible rook f8 attacking the bishop, and after bishop g6, king g6, castle. And a pawn up, and with such a knight, it guarantees white a quick winning. In case of bishop d5 here, sorry, queen c7 here, with either bishop d5 and catch this rook, unfortunately would not work so much because knight f8 strong move, and now knight c8 is necessary because bishop d5, all of a sudden knight e6, and queen is attacked, and once it leaves, the rook b8 comes, also queen attacking the knight. And after knight c8, there would be queen b4 check, king goes to f1, and knight e6 attacking the queen. Bishop takes on e6, the rook takes on c8. Or suddenly black pieces became active. And after check on f5, he would play king g8, and after queen d7, white has an extra piece, but rook c2 would lead for some complications which he wanted to avoid. That's why he decided to play it safe way. He develops pieces with long castle. And now he played a5, because after f6 he would play f4 and crushing through here. That's why Khan plays a5. He wants to bring this bishop to play through a6, but he gives this pawn. And bishop a6 was played. And finally black has the first threat. Yeah, he wants to play rook c8 and win this queen of this pin. And now most probably he should play, instead of king b1, simply queen a3. Not only avoiding this rook c8, but also protecting this pawn after bishop e2, simply play rook d2. We see how white pieces are coordinating. Knight protects bishop, queen protects knight, queen protects pawn, rook protects knight. Such a beautiful way to win geometry on the board. But instead he played king b1, which looks more natural, but forget about this move. And after rook d5, after rook, why I cannot play rook d5, bishop f3 here. He take on g6, king g6, and take on e5. White still have a pawn up, but we see that it's little bit complicated now than after queen a3. Good draw. We made 7-7 without draws. Rucha saved us. It was 6. It was 5. No, it was 6-6. And then no, it was 5-6 first. Then she won last game, made 6-6. And then we decided to make 2 games. And they played, we just played against another player. And first game she lost with white, but then come back with black. And instead of Super Armageddon, we decided just make draw. A grid of draw, so 7-7. Yeah, not single draw. Crazy. So Queen F6 was played. Yeah, now he has to be a little bit careful, because Rook F1 is simply Bishop E4 check and we eliminate this Rook. And in case of Rook F5, a huge blunder, again Bishop E4. Knight E4, then we take this Rook and winning the game even. Can you imagine to lose such a game? It would be so pity. That's why he played Rook E1. Control this square. Rook goes to B8. And Knight goes to F5. And he's forcing, with next move, he'll force the black to exchange the queens. This was his idea. How much he complicated game, we see it. Rook A6, Queen E7. So we can say that in that young years, Botvinnik was often get winning positions or big and then slip it away. So in previous game also he was winning a few times, instead he made draw. Queen takes E7. Fortunately, Rook B6 would not work here, intermediate move, because not of B3 and some counterplay, because of Queen F6. No, so because of check, this and Queen F6 here. The point that GF not works because of check and we eliminate this bishop. And after Rook F6, we just pick up another pawn here and winning endgame. That's why black is forced to take E7 here. Rook takes E7. Now, Khan played Bishop E4, at least wants to play Rook endgame. And because the Rook B6 was not working here, because of B3, not Knight H4, because of King F6 attacking Rook and also this attack, but B3, then A4, and Knight H4 check, King F6, and we take on D7 here. And after AB, not Knight F3 here because of B8 check, and then we cannot take because of mate. If this, and most probably will be check here. Sorry, will be check on B1, and looks like draw. He takes and this check. And if he goes here, then Rook B3, attacking knight, and also Rook A3. So the point that instead of Knight F3, much stronger is E5 check here, because here is check, and after King E6 we have this check, and we exchange these rooks with check and then take it this and winning. Why not Knight E7 instead of Rook E7? If let me see, why not Knight E7 here? Maybe he wanted to avoid this kind of rook end game, right? Yeah, could be possible Knight E7 actually, because King F7, then we give check. Rook F6. What is this line? This. If Knight D5, then King E5. Some counterplay maybe for black. Definitely some counterplay here. I don't know. Could be interesting. Maybe Rook F1 here. King D7 he takes. Yeah, should be good chances to win, of course. Okay, let's see what he was going for. Rook E7. So he played Bishop E4 and Rook 1 E4. So he wanted his both rooks will be activated. King takes to F5. Rook F4 check. King G6. Because this hangs. God knows, Kudo, I didn't check on computer. King goes to g6, rook g4. He also not candy for black, of course. And the point that if king f6, we take rook g7, and we'll have this check on g6 here. That would be the idea. That's why after check, he played king f5. And he just repeat twice. And he took, again, they repeated, and then he took rook g7 in this position. Again, pawn up for white. Also, this is hanging. Rook b6 played by Khan. And rook f7 check, king g6 was played. And now he had choice, or go back to g7 and go to the line what happened in the game, or just simply play rook f2, protect it. But after rook d6, these rooks could become active, and black had some decent chances to save this game. Instead, he give back check and king f5, and he played this check now. He wants to bring this rook down, and then this king will be in open air here, and will be a lot of checks. That was the difference. King goes to e5, and rook f2. This is the difference. When king was safe on g6, after rook d6 he had some chances, but now this pawn is also weak. Some checks are coming from different sides. Technical continuation. Now if we play rook d6, there will be rook e7 check. King goes to d5, then will be check on d2. Then we just exchange these rooks and play rook h7 with completely winning game. We take this 2 pawns up, and both are connected. And that's why Khan played d5 in this position. And here they adjourn the game, and Khan resign without continuation in this position. Thank you, drove the night. Thank you. I think you raided me a second time. I appreciate it. Thank you. Welcome, people. It's better said that he not resigned, but there was a jury in this tournament. Grigoriev and Romnovsky. Grigoriev is a famous by his endgame analytics, and they by this jury they give victory to Botvinnik based on next variations. So Botvinnik give analysis. So rook e7 check, king d6, then he would play rook a7, attacking this pawn here. And rook b5, we need to protect this pawn, only chance. Then attacking another weakness. So he first distract a rook from 6th rank, because king now cannot go on c5 or e5 to protect with rook here, because we see that rook is on 5th rank. Thank you for follow. And game will be over very quick here. In case of king d4, he would play rook d2 check. And after king c5, what else? Because king c4, we just give check and also take this pawn. And after king c5, then check. We cannot play rook c6 because rook c2 and win this rook. Cannot go here because win this pawn, only move. And like mirror variation, same. And rook h7. And also, instead of rook c7 check, in this position, would be possible to play rook d7, also equally strong, because rook d6 loses a rook after check. And now this is attacked. And after king c6, he would play rook d5, and unfortunately for black, they need to sacrifice here, exchange these all rooks, but pawn ending is completely lost. King d5. Yeah, this is just winning. Yeah, we just go after this pawn and just promote. If king protects, then we promote this pawn. How much silo? Shvidi. 7-7 we played. It was cool. We agreed draw. Thank you for follow, people. Let me find some interesting games. Thank you. Yeah, this was cool, no? I like this idea. Rook e f7, then rook f2, and king is in open swimming, or how to say. Okay, another famous game from 7th USSR Championship in Moscow, 1931. 1931, he was 20 years old. He was born in 1911. Thank you. Thank you for follow. So, let me build up this Botvinnik e Sorokin. Okay. Seventh USSR. So I think everything is correct. Let's see this game. So d4, d5. This game is one of the best game of Botvinnik. It's a worldwide known game. Knight f3, knight f6, c4, e6, declined queen's gambit. Knight c3, knight d7. Bishop goes to g5. We can also play cd, ed, and then bishop g5 or bishop f4. So bishop g5. Bishop goes to e7. And e3. Castle. Bishop goes to d3. c6 was played here. And here's the different possibilities for black. So I can, for example, play h6, kick away this bishop somewhere, and then play dc a6, or even take directly then with idea a6, with idea b5, bishop is in c5. But he played c6. And in this position, it's a little bit slow decision by black. And let's see what happens now. Dromeda, thank you, man. Appreciate it. It's a donation of 15 bucks. Thank you, man. And this move would be more logical after rook c1 move. Castle he played. And a6 all suddenly. Again, he said that even with waste of time, it was better to take a dc in this position. And second, yeah. But his opponent wanted to get this position, something like rook c1, then b5, cd, and cd. Even this is quite unpleasant, because who plays exchange variation of Slavs, they know that it's better don't make weakness of c5 square, because black cannot compensate with weakness of c4, because once knight will come here, it will be always kicked out with pawn. So it's positionally mistake. So it was wrong idea by black. But Botvinnik avoids. Yeah, he didn't play c5 because he didn't wanted to allow this e5 break here. And after d, let's say knight g4, bishop b7, queen e7, and these both pawns are attacked. Yeah, and instead he played a4. And after a dc, bishop c4. Now b5 is not possible because we just take. And in case of cb, we take it, and this is a pin. But 1 second, can black actually play knight b6 here? I just realized. What after this white will do? Attacking the bishop, and then I want to take. Maybe this was possible. Maybe a4 was not a good direction. I think he just forget to mention this line. Looks like it works. I don't know how to refute this move. Maybe knight e5 actually. Maybe knight e5 is possible here. Because cb is just bad. We play knight c6. Then we eliminate this strong bishop, of course. And this is a positional advantage because of pair of bishops, and knight e4 is coming. And the point that if we play knight c4, I'm not take here, but I can take, I guess. But knight c4, cb, 1 second. What can I do here? The point that I thought that I can take, but then AB and BC. Maybe it was possible, I don't know. A4 I don't like. This is not a good option. Yes. So he did not play rook c1 because of DC, I guess. DC and then b5, c5 and so on. He could actually take CD here and change complete direction. CD would be the option. And after ED, maybe play queen c2, then rook e1 and play in the center here. Yeah, okay. Instead, he played a4. His opponent take, and played c5 here. Yeah, and now he not allows this cd an isolated pawn. Yeah, for example, if rook e1, he didn't want it to get this position. The bishop goes to c6 and control d5 square. But instead, he take c5 himself. Deb mate. 1 second. Deb mate. What you said? Why can't white go c5? Yeah, I think I answered that. Queen d5 forks you if you take knight b5. Let's see. What? 1 second. What you said? b5. AB, knight b6. What is forking? Ah, you mean this line or what? AB is also possible. Queen d5 is, I'm not sure, because knight 7 fork. Knight 7 fork here. Or first we take, and then knight 7 take it here. Okay, let's not fix too much our attention on this opening nuance. So c5 he played, and dc Botvinnik plays, and bishop c5. And much better was knight c5 according to Botvinnik here. Maybe he would play queen e2, then rook d1, rook c1. But it still was better than bishop d7, queen goes, then bishop e6. But his opponent played bishop c5, a quite dubious continuation. Queen e2, connecting rooks, and they can go to d1, also preparing e4, e5 some moments. So ideal move, h6, bishop h4. He goes back on e7. We just see that black is simply wasting time. Rook goes d1, pinning the queen, so like double pins here. Knight h5. So what he's saying now? He take on e7. And here was also forcing variation, which he declined very wisely. He will play knight e5 here using this pin. And then after bishop h4, queen h5. And after queen e7 to take d7 and take rook d7 with either queen d7, queen h4, but so intermediate check and queen d7 here. Yeah. Yeah, that's why he... Bishop c5 is dead because you are not developing pieces. You're wasting time. You played first bishop e7, then you play bishop c5 and then go back. So instead, much better was in this position play knight c5 with idea develop a queen side finally. Bring this bishop, rook and so on. So bishop c5, queen e2, bishop e7, rook d1, h6, bishop h4, knight h5 was played and he just take on e7. He avoided this fourth line. He wants more. He played rook d2 here. We had to double rooks. This d file is very, very important for both sides here. Knight goes to b6. Finally, he wants to develop the... If black will manage to play bishop d7, bishop 6, then bring knight here, he will be okay. But it's not only black plays the game. He plays rook d1. And he's ready to give this bishop. And because after knight c4, queen c4, it's almost impossible to move pieces for black. I guess after knight f6, he will play something like knight e5, not allow bishop d7. And we see that black is in trouble to move pieces. Then we slowly improve with a5, h3, and knight can bring here and so on. And queen b4 also he don't care much because of rook d4 with the bishop e6 here. And in case of e5, you want to play knight d5 in this position. And after knight d5, take it with rook and attacking this pawn. This line emphasizing that knight on h5 is very bad place, not controlling this square, central square. And in case of bishop d7 here, finally, to develop, it was not working because of knight e5 in this position, attacking bishop. And after knight f6, a5, attacking the knight, forcing knight c4. And after knight e4, white take twice on d7, and then take this or this with big advantage. And same time in this position already is unpleasant threat, rook d6, forcing knight c4. That's why Sorokin probably was thinking a long time what to do, and he played queen c5 in this position. After queen c5, I think I would probably play knight f6 in this position. This looks most natural to bring this knight back to the game. In case of knight e5, maybe I'll play queen c7. But maybe a5 is up, but a5 is an option which I'm not sure, because he takes bishop d7. Still I can play queen c7, but I'm not sure about this line. You go queen b4. And now if I take it, then queen b2 is hanging. Okay, I don't know, knight f6 could be interesting. Instead, he played queen c5. We see that this knight is out of game. He simply retreat to a2. Such a strong pressure over d file. Knight goes to f6 finally. He plays e4. He wants to play e5. And black is playing e5 himself. What else to do, because e5 is coming. And now he wants to play bishop e6 or bishop g4 and breathe more easily. What do you think? What kind of a decision Botvinnik made here? e5 would be strong because we gain more space advantage. And how to develop? Also, black will lose control over d7 square. So what to do? e5, and the knight have to go somewhere. The knight e4 coming, and we take on d6 square. Hello, Pandemic 20. I'm okay, how are you? Vino, hello. e5, so think. Don't Google, don't use engines and this stuff, just use your brain. Yeah, knight d5 would not be possible because I will take everything, win the pawn. Any ideas? He says that as 7 years what he was playing chess, because he started late, at 12 he was. It was the most precise game what he did. Precise decision. Position. Holy sky, hello. No, it's not knight d5. It's not knight d5. Definitely. Knight d5 allowed, so I guess knight d5, the knight a4 also is hanging. Rook d8, I will play bishop g4, then what you do? Rook d6, bishop g4. What do you want next? After h3 I will play bishop e6 maybe, or bishop d7. Rook c2, I don't know. Rook c2, maybe queen a5. Knight e1, bishop g4, you missed. That's bad move. Okay guys, queen e3, not so natural move. So he's forcing a queen exchange here. And all of a sudden black will have a heavy, tough endgame to play. Because this queen was everything what was cementing a black position, and we will exchange it, a very deep positional idea. Who knows Botvinnik legacy? He knows this game, because this is one of the famous games he played. So sometimes you don't need to calculate, you know, you play by feelings. Unfortunately, before that it works, I guess, because I just take this knight, no? So queen e3. The point that he has to accept the challenge of he need to exchange this queen, because queen 7 we just, I guess we can take on e5 here. Yeah, now it will be a big advantage here. We take on a b6. If knight e4, I guess it's just rook e1 or rook e2. Rook e1, let's say, and there's a pin, and queen e3. So he need to exchange on e3. We take fe, and after fe he played bishop g4. Somebody asked why not knight g4 here. Knight g4, let me think. First of all, we can even defend an h3. Another tactical refutation I think is rook d6, because knight cannot go anyway. You have to take it with that knight c4, but I will take here knight d1, and black doesn't have enough compensation. Rook squeezing a bishop with defense. This is attacked. If you play rook e8, I will bring this knight in the game. Bishop d5, yeah, this is a very bad position. Yeah, that's why he played bishop g4. Try to somehow connect rooks finally. a5 by Botvinnik. Knight c8 was played, and he wanted to bring this knight to c6 and attack this pawn. And even worse would be to play knight d7 in this position, try to bring it to c5, duel of h3. And now he has to exchange, because bishop e6 we just take and take twice on d7. And we will be winning. So bishop f3, and all suddenly white's central pawns became very strong here. Both these pawns control these important squares, and this pawn these important squares, and this pawn supports the main pawn. And knight c5 would be option, because rook d8 it's a very unpleasant pin, and we punish black with knight d5, winning immediately. We want to take, or also knight b6. We cannot take because rook d5 is a pin. So knight c5 would be necessary. But after knight c5, there would be b4, strong move, forcing knight e6. Then we simply take on e6 and play knight a4, strong move, with a very, very big positional advantage for white, because this pawn we will easily defend by king g2, and these pawns are undefendable. We will play knight c5, and the rook also penetrates here. Black's position will be collapsed very, very quick. Hello, Chespatse, welcome back. We have our hero JT in our chat. He wins such a clear game today and put a lion's piece in our draw in the match versus Katis subscribers. So let's do it. And also he's guys, he's streaming himself, so do follow him. Let me do it. I think I did it correct. By the way, JT, you are a mod. Can you shoot out yourself or not? Make it shoot out for yourself. Why I have to do it? You are the mod. Yeah, Inky. You should not. How could you miss it when I was running this notification Nightbot about 1 week every fucking day? I mean, you have to have a really high talented skills to miss it. If I understand if I would tell it in last minute. It was 1 week, I don't know, 10 hours per day I was moving this. Yeah, I know, I'm just kidding. That's why Sorokin probably felt that this is bad because of the line, so he played knight c8, practically only continuation. Big shot out, yes. To follow this guy, he's also streaming, let's support. And what's going on here? After knight c8, he played rook c1, strong move now, because he want to control this c file and also avoid this pin, and now knight e5 is a threat. And bishop f3. How else to protect this pawn? In case of rook e8, he will play h3, and now black has two moves: bishop a6 or bishop h5. Bishop h5 would be just bad duo of knight h4, very strong move. Control this square, and then g4 is coming. Also knight f5 or knight d5. Black is collapsing here. And in case of bishop e6, he would simply take on e6. Now fe collapse because knight e5, and after rook e6, rook d8 check. And the best what black can play probably is rook e8 and give up this pawn, because this pin is so painful. We will play knight a4, knight d5, also attack here. So this would be a maximum for black. Maybe actually it was a best decision to give this pawn and try to save this. At least black's pieces start to live normal. First time ever in this game. I think this was a best continuation in my opinion. Rook e8 and a bishop h6. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not sure. Bar, thank you for sub, man. I don't remember your account name. Thank you. We have a new guy. Appreciate. And after rook c1, he take bishop f3, which I think it's a very anti-positional decision, because he gives such an important bishop. Then after this exchange, this extremely strong bishop has not vis-a-vis. It starts to action so strong. Also G file is open. We can operate in future. Also at central pawns are improved. So this was in any case a bad decision, even if your pawns are equal. Sometimes material is not so important as activity of pieces. We know it, especially in endgames. So I think here actually black resigned this game. He should play rook e8 and give this pawn, definitely. So bishop f3, gf. Let's see now, compare what happens. King goes to e7, yeah, he needs to activate his pieces. What else to do? And knight d5 all suddenly. And this move is forcing black to exchange one knight or even both. And after, if we exchange both knights, white rooks will penetrate to 7th rank and completely destroy, abandon black pawns. So he played knight c6 here. In case of knight fd5, for example, he would not play ed here, due of knight f5. If we manage to put it on d6, black is absolutely fine. That's why, yeah, e4, knight d6. But instead, he would play bishop d5 here. This was his idea, attacking this pawn. And after knight d5, he would take rook d5. And white is possessing a really big advantage here, because this pawn attacked, and also we want to penetrate on 7th rank. For example, f6, I guess we can play rook c7 here. We cannot play rook f7 because of we take check. Also this is weak, so king g6 we take, and this should be technically winning because we play b4 pawn protect this one, then rook b6 attacking here, then sooner or later we'll activate king and win it. Sorokin decided not to go to rook endgame where he would suffer a long time. He played knight c6. He wants to attack this pawn, but he take on f6, gf, and rook d7. The point that we are attacking pawn and we cannot take here, due of rook c7, completely smashing black's position. This will fall, and this bishop is so much stronger than this knight. And that's why after rook d7 he played rook b8. And all suddenly, after rook b8, threats are coming from other side of globus, not only from this, but king f2, and we're using that this file is open. That's why also bishop f3 was wrong in that line. Not only improved center, but also open this file, and white is starting to logically use this weakness. It's multitask decision. Open this square, and also king is closer to the center, also protect his pawns. Knight f5, at least black takes this pawn. What else to do? So it was Zugzwang. So rook c, oh, sorry, that's how I usually losing my blitz games. So rook c7, rook b c8, because impossible to hold such a rooks. As threat was, let's say, play some random moves like this, and we make check. Then play bishop d5. This bishop controls here. Rook h7 is a mate. So black urgently needs to exchange one pair of rook. But unfortunately it doesn't work. We remember that half game black's knight was on h5 on the edge. Now another part of game, another knight on edge on a5. It's like mirror reflection here. So what happens here? Rook df7 was played. He could also play bishop h7, bishop d5, but it's the same. And he takes rook c7, rook c7, and king h8, and beautiful move bishop d5, a ideal square for bishop, squeezing a knight, cannot jump as we see. Also pawn is under attack, and we also want to bring this king, give mate on h7, because rook g8 is controlled by bishop. What a bishop. So he played b5. and otherwise he would lost more material, yeah, because rook b8 and rook f7 and rook f6. Threat was b4 and rook b7. So he played b5 and now classy move b3, killing this knight completely, not allow knight c4. Look at this bishop, completely dominant. So we see the difference between that line, rook e8, bishop e6, when we was giving this pawn, but these pawns would be weak, and also we would eliminate this bishop. And to this one, this is just suffer. The rook goes to d8, king goes to g3, and he did not play, of course, rook f7 because of rook d6, and then knight always could jump here. So he not allows to activate this knight. So king g3, merciful Botvinnik. He wants to just come here. So f5 by Sorokin, king h4. Now we go after this pawn. fe, fe. This is a very important bishop here. Rook d6. Control this. Also this. King h5. Pinning the rook. Not pinning, but tying up with defense. And after rook f6, he played h4. Rook d6. Now he could play bishop f7, then bishop g6 and take this pawn and win the game. But he decided not to force matters. Sorry, he played rook d6, rook b6, yeah. So he played king g4. He wants to go after this pawn now. Rook f6, not allowed. And he plays rook a7. Yeah, this is not a inaccuracy because black cannot play knight 6. To of rook a6 is a pin. And unfortunately for black, they're limited with moves. King doesn't have any moves. He goes to rook d6. No, 1 second. He goes rook b6 again. Rook goes to e7, not allow knight 6. Will be pinned from this side. He goes, they just repeat a few times, and after he played rook f6, he goes here and he goes here. This is a position. No, sorry. I don't see well this moves. The position was 1 second. They just repeat a few times. Yeah, this is position. This, and again they reached what they've been before, and now finally he played bishop f7. Yeah, it's like sadistic play. Yeah, he would play bishop f7, but he was waiting for some no reason. Then he go back. Now he played rook f6 because king g7 loses immediately after b4. We attack this knight, and once it goes here, we give discovery check and take this. And what happened after bishop f7? He played rook f6. He played bishop g6 here. Knight b3. King takes h6. And now is a threat of mate here. And he played rook f8. In case of king g8, he would play king g5 here. And rook f1 now is loses because we close this file. Bishop f5 and then king f6. Yeah, this maneuver also winning without all pieces on the board and pawns. Some Philidor ideas. And in case of rook f8 here, he would continue bishop f5 again with the idea king g6, check and mate on h7. Knight is also hanging. And after rook e8, only move to control this square, he would play king g6. Knight goes to d2. And then bishop at d7, very strong move here. And what to do here? Rook b8. In case of rook d8, he would go h5 in this position. And after knight e4, check. We cannot go on h8 because of mate on h7. After king f8, there will be check on f7. And then this beautiful check here. Forcing take, and then h6 we just promote here. That would be the option. That's why probably only move here would be bishop rook b8 in this position. But after rook b8, he would just give check, king f8. Then we give check here. We cannot go on g8, of course, because of rook b7, and we take this rook. Thank you. Thank you for cheer, man. And after king e8, we would give check, king d8, and rook f8 with easy win. We just exchange these rooks, and this pawn is unstoppable, as we see. Yeah, that's why Sorokin, in this position, he played... 1 second, what was position? Yeah, in this position. Instead of king g8, he played immediately rook f8. But unfortunately, it also doesn't help because white is winning very, very easily. They give check, they give another check, and bishop f7. Not only attack, but also mate in one is coming. And only move, take, goes here, we go here, knight d2, and after rook d7 he just resigned. What a cool game. Attacking the knight, also mate. Yeah, this was one of the Botvinnik's known famous game in his youth time. He was only 20 years old. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for cheer. Let us find something interesting. Probably I will do the last game for tonight. It's 3 AM for me. Yeah, this was really cool. This queen e3. I remember I was a kid when I first time see it. I was like shocked. That was cool, no? Queen e3, really, really cool game. Oh, Sages is raiding. Thank you, man. Don't remember your account. Thank you. Botvinnik. Want to find some interesting game as a dessert, as a cake. Yeah, lots of interesting games. Lot of interesting games. Which one we're supposed to choose here? I don't know, can you see or not? I will show you a picture of him when he was 22 years old. Maybe you will see, I don't know. Like this, you see? This picture. Yeah. I hope you see it. Cool picture. He looked like serious guy all his life, yeah. These glasses make him like that. Unfortunately, I showed that game already in previous stream, so I cannot be repeated, right? And it's worldwide famous game, so... Maybe I'll find less new known games. Yeah, this game I know. Also quite interesting game. Okay, let's see this one. And it's enough. It was played in 8th USSR Championship. In Leningrad 1933. He was black. 1 second. So 1933 and Leningrad. Leningrad 8th. So Botvinnik was black against Rouser. I think Rouser is quite easy to write. Must not to make a mistake here. Okay. Sorry. This. Rouser. Yeah, too much threes, I guess. Too much threes right here. Like this is better. A little bit better, I guess. But I'm clicking so much things here. Thank you for follow, people. Let's see. Yeah, rouser. Rouser system, we remember, yes? What is rouser system? So e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, cd, knight d4, knight f6, knight c3, d6 was played. And now Rouser played bishop e2, but later years he implemented in practice this move bishop g5, and it calls Rouser system with very complex play. Bishop d7 is idea, e6, e6, and then queen d2. We make opposite directions, castles with very sharp. Also h6, a6, and a million ideas here. h6, bishop d7, a6, bishop d7. A lot of interesting directions. But in this particular game, Rouser plays a modest move, bishop e2. I think Boleslavsky implemented against bishop e2 e5 idea here. We even seen in one of the previous streams, long time ago, a game Botvinnik Boleslavsky, I guess. So now he played g6, bishop e3, bishop g7, knight b3 was played by Rouser. So knight b3, bishop e6, f4, castle, castle. And there was famous game, Alyoshin Botvinnik, when he played g4. Alyoshin played g4, and it ended up in beautiful repetition of moves in the end. You can find this game in one of my streams, by the way. I also did it, I guess. But in this game, was castle and more modest decision by Rouser. He goes to short castle, so he chooses not to risk too much. And now he played knight a5 in this position. Wants to occupy this square. Against f5 he wants to play bishop c4. And another continuation and quite popular nowadays is queen c8 idea. First of all, stop f5, and another idea to play rook d8 and play d5. Very flexible decision. But in this position he played knight a5. So after bishop now Rauser played knight a5, but maybe it was better. Yeah, actually Spielmann found a year later in 1934 that this move was better, and now the bishop c4, bishop d3, strong move in this position. And if once we take, white is improving its central pawns. But here Rauser take on a5, and queen takes on a5, bishop goes to f3, and he played bishop c4 attacking the rook. Rook goes to e1, rook goes to d8, not allow e5 because of this. b3 not possible, this is hanging. Queen goes to d2, logical continuation, he wants to bring rook, and some moments even have knight d5 ideas. Queen c7, he wanted to avoid exchange of queens. Rook a c1, and maybe inaccuracy. This was much more simple and better, attacking this square here. But instead he played rook a c1, he definitely preparing b3, then knight will go, and then c4. This was his idea, and avoiding this kind of pins over this diagonal. And now suddenly here Botvinnik played e5, and now he played b3, but maybe it was better to take and queen f2 with about equal position. We're winning tempo, attacking this pawn, and after b6 probably rook d1. Yeah, and more or less equal position, but instead Rauser played b3. What happened here? What do you think, guys? This was his first game, which was famous worldwide, and it was analyzed by such a place like Tarash and Becker and so on. And what is d5? I will take ed. Then what you want? Hello, Abdullah. I'm okay, thank you. How are you? It's not evening for me. It's like morning already. It's 3 a.m. So this is like probably last game, I guess, and then I go to rest. ef, I will simply take bishop f4. Codex, what's up, baby? How are you? Long time, man. Ain't not rest for the week. Sometimes I also need rest. d5 is the direction, actually, guys. d5. But what after ed? What happens after ed? When you play d5 and ed, what do you want? Yes, cookies, hello. d5, a brilliant move here, which leads to a very, very complex game. And now, in case of bc, he will play d4 and fork. In case of fe, at least he had knight e4, and then he eliminated with tempo and bishop e5. So white is almost forced to take ed and e4. Look at this energetic play. So okay, Ivanov. I see, Codex. And he says that Tarash and Becker was analyze this position, and they give two main lines for white. Besides that, what happened in the game, bc was happened, and first line was if bishop e4, then knight e4, knight e4, bishop d5 attacking the knight. If he goes, then bishop b3 attacking the queen. and also bishop c3. Queen d3 would be option to defend it, but then queen c6, attacking bishop, attacking the knight, and also this. And after bishop f2, rook e8, forcing go away for knight, and then bishop g2 with a big advantage for white, obviously. And it's like not even pawn for such a bad position for white. That's why second option would be, instead of bishop e4, knight e4 here. And after knight e4, you want to take knight d5. The point that in case of bc, we take on e3, queen e3, then bishop d4, and winning this queen. And after knight d5, could be king h1 option, then take on e3, queen e3, bishop d4, queen d2, and then bishop b2 here. Or also bishop e6 is possible in this position. And after c4, then bishop e5, and we take this pawn. So after bishop b2, then queen b4 would be the option here. And bishop c1, then after bishop c1, knight f6, check, king h8, strong move, queen goes to c3, look at this craziness, knight h5 is the idea, and then bishop d2 attacking the queen, queen goes to b2, knight e8, the threat, and then bishop e6, strong move, because now knight e8, I will play queen c3, forcing knight d5, because c4 if you play, then queen a5, and we still get it. And in case of knight e4, then sorry, not knight e4, knight d5, of course, forcing bishop c3, and after knight c3 we play king g8 here, knight e4, and queen f4, knight f6, king f8, and white attack is not so strong. This was the analysis of Tarash and Becker, which is absolutely not forced, of course. I just show it just because of historical interest. In game, Rauser played BC, and after EF, he played C5. He wanted to keep these pawns alive. And in this position, look at this, it's very complex positions for both sides. He plays queen a5. And the threat is to take knight d5 and then queen d2 and rook d2, rook d5. For example, we play gf, we take, then we take queen d2. Now knight e7 we play here and then take the bishop. In case of bishop d2 we play rook d5, and almost all pawns are weak here. And now Rauser in this complex position, he made a mistake. He played rook ed1, this position. d6 was also not good because of knight g4, attacking this knight. Now we cannot go on d5 because we take and then fork on f2. Jorg, hello. What's up, man? Thank you for gifted sub today. And after knight e4, take queen d2 in this position, and bishop d2 only move because knight d2 we take on e3 and then bishop d4, attacking this, winning. And in case of bishop d2, then f2 check, knight f2, and then bishop d4, and black is winning because we need to defend it with rook e2, and we take on f2, rook f2, and then first we take here, and this rook will not run anyway. And probably the best option for white in this position was queen d3 to avoid this pin. And this was recommended by Grigoriev. Thank you for follow, people. And Yeah. And he was given such variation after knight g4, then knight e4, this position, f5, then it goes to g5. Now in case of check, bishop f2, knight f2, king f2, queen c5 check, king g3, rook d5, queen b3, and it leads to white's advantage actually. Knight e6, then queen b7, everything is hanging. And queen d5 is not possible in this position because of rook e8 check. And after bishop f8 we take it and take the rook here. Beautiful. But Botvinnik come back to this game and much years later, like I don't know, like 30 years later, and he understood that after queen d3 in this position, not knight g4 but b6 was very strong move here. Destroys the center and want to take here. Yeah, after gf bc he would have at least equal chances, or cb ab, and then knight d5. Yeah, but b6 it's not easy to find over the board. Knight g4 looks continuation, but rook d1, let's see where it leads. I think Rouser played it to avoid this kind of knight g4 f2 forks here. Anyway, knight g4 strong move, attacking this knight. Bishop d4, and this leads to lost, force lost. But after knight e4, black would have a close to winning position in a game. So we have to take with bishop, otherwise we take it. And after bishop d2, we give check, king h1, then we take rook d5. Yeah, and black has obvious advantage. King f3, we just take, or f5. This is weak, rook d8 is coming, rook e8 is coming, yeah. This would be hard. Understandable that Rouser did not go for that. He played bishop d4. And can you calculate from here what happened in the game, guys? I remember I was a kid, I did it. I found this line. He's winning by force. What kind of ideas black has here? This probably Rouser completely missed when he played rook d1. Calculate direction f2. So what white has to play best moves and what black is doing, and so on. So what is the idea? Direction is f2. So after f2, we cannot play king h1 because of what? Debmate, tell me honestly, you find it yourself or you googled the game? Because before, in previous game, you was blundering knight in one move, and now you found not obvious stuff so quickly. Bravo. If you are honest to yourself, of course. Thank you for follow. Tell the truth. So after f2, king h1, there will be rook d5, strong move, guys. And after knight d5, I will play f1, check, distract rook to f1, and take queen. So direction is f2, of course. And okay. Now I understood. So the point that bishop f2 not possible. Bishop c3. Game is over. King h1 is bad because of rook d5. We take as an f1 check. And we take the queen and win the game. And only chance is king f1. Then what's going on here? Okay, he already write the whole variation. So queen a6. This is a cool check. So we cannot play queen d3 here because we play bishop d4. And after queen a6, we play knight h2. King goes to e2. Now we cannot take ba because rook d4, but f1 distracts the rook. And then we take here. Completely winning game. It's piece up, also this hangs, game is over. And in case of knight e2, I go too far. In case of knight e2, of course, we just take rook d5, pinning, c3, rook e8. Also, game will be over very quick, this position. Everything is hanging. So, only move would be... What do you mean f1, bishop g1? I don't understand. Which... And... Queen e2 only move. And that's why bishop d4 now. Again, we cannot take because we transpose to that previous variation in f1 check. So only move d4 and queen f6. This is a decisive blow here. Look at this move. What a geometry in black's play. He played queen f5 and queen a6 and queen f6. Crazy. You see how dynamically strong was Botvinnik in calculations and these sharp positions too. And now they're winning a material here. He played rook cd1. In case of queen d3, he will play rook e8. His idea rook e3. And for example, g3 loses now. After rook e3 and then rook e8. And we just penetrate and killing. And in case of rook e4, he would simply take rook e4 using that queen cannot take on e4 because of queen c3. After knight e4, queen a4 is winning. Attacking here, also knight h2. Yeah, I saw it. I found this. I was calculating very well. Rook cd1 was played. And queen goes to h4. Look at this. Look at this. Queen a4. What a career black king made. These. Protect here. Also knight h2 made in one hangs. Queen d3 is the only option. What else to play? Cannot go here because of fork. g3 is not possible because of mate in 1 on h3. So only square. And now rook d8. Not allow king e to move and forcing mate in 1 here. I mean threatening. So rook d4. Only way. And f5 strong move here. We cannot exchange because we'll be mate. So rook e6 only move. Thank you, man. And now he decided to go to the simplest way here. Knight h2 and Zigbert Tarash he showed a little bit more complex line, rook d8. Now threat is taken, take the queen, and queen b5 only move, because queen g3 loses. We just exchange, then exchange, and winning the rook here. And in case of queen b5, attacking the rook, it will be rook e6 d. Then we simply take rook d1, check on h2, and just promote. Thank you for follow. This was a Tarash line, but Botvinnik just take on h2. King goes to e2, and after queen takes f4, white wisely resign. Because what to do? F1 is a threat. After rook f1, we just take on f1, we just take on e6, and after d we play queen e5. Game is over, because threat is made in one. After you take, I take here, and there is no pieces left for white. Yeah, that was a game. Okay guys, on this game I will probably end up today's stream. Thank you who joined today in sub button, and just in general for supports, for everything. And most probably we'll see each other, I don't know if tomorrow or not, but in following days. I will just make a raid definitely. I will try to make a raid here. Thank you for follow. Let me see who is. Thank you guys, thank you. My pleasure. Ooh, I think it's GM Igor. Oh, Igor. Sava Igor. We have Igor Nataf in our raid. Thank you. It's so pity to make raid now. Not raid, I mean, yes. To finish stream after his raid. Guys, let me make shot out 1 second. Let me make it. Don't go anywhere, people. Thank you, Igor. Sawa. Sawa. 1 second, it's so slow computer, I don't see chat. Salute. Yeah. Igor, unfortunately I was about to finish. I'm sorry. It's like very late here now, like 3:25 AM, and we had a hard day today. Thank you, people. Welcome. Oh my. Yes, big shout out. 1 second, guys. Let me do it. Shout out. GM Igor Chess. This is a famous French grandmaster. Igor, everybody do follow. Yes, Jan Christoph, I'm going to finish now. I will just... Okay, I guess it will be fair if I will rate... I will rate Penguin GM, because he rated me many times, and also let's congratulate him for last Title Tuesday victory. So let me do it, guys. Rate Penguin GM 1. Let's do it. Okay, guys. Join the party. Let's move together to his stream. Okay, let's go. Good night. Good night, people. Thank you, Igor. Thank you very much.